Welcome to another episode of Positive Content. Again, I want to start this episode with a little mini review type thing. I got this book last year, so I talked about this on a few streams, but this is called The Figure Drawing Atelier, an illustrational sketchbook by Juliette Arist- Aristides. I don't know if that's how you pronounce her last name, but this is the book I bought at Barnes Noble last year. You could get this for $25 or so. But I got this book and I really liked it. It was a really good read. I'm still kind of making my way through this book here and there. It's a really good reference for figure drawing. It really breaks it down pretty easily for you. The beginning part of it is very handy. It talks about like making kind of a line kind of stuff. So always I always say look at other videos on YouTube, find good reference material for you to look at. This is a really good one to look at, just to kind of get a rough idea of how to draw the human body. So I think what I'm gonna be doing with these positive content videos or streams, I'm gonna start off with reading a random page of this book. So I'm gonna find a good page to read. I'm not gonna read this, but look at this. So it breaks it down the form, start to finish, and it kind of talks about like you gotta outline, place the figure down, draw like a line of action, that kind of stuff. Then you block in the form, etc., etc. And it's really good source. So let's see. Let's draw. Whoops. Let's read this portion. It's called Seeing the Line of Action on page 18. So if you have this book, you can read along with me, I guess. But here we go, guys. Sit back, sit down, get your little drinks ready. When I lived in New York City, I took chess lessons from a speed chess player in Washington Square Park. My teacher always reminded me not to move a piece without knowing why. It sounds easy, but it isn't when the clock is ticking. The same is true in drawing. Before making your first mark, take a moment or two to study the model and find what inspires you. At first, you may not see anything. Then, gradually, as you would see faces and clouds, connections and relationships emerge. Are there lines in the are there lines that sweep like a compass swing from the hairline into the neck before disappearing into the front of the chest? Does the model throw her shoulders back, making her look like the figurehead of a ship? Is there a diagonal starting? Is there a diagonal starting at his back leg and ending at his back of his neck, as if he is about to leap? The beginning lines of action create a design that will still be evident in the finished drawing. So this is saying like when you look at a figure, find a part of the body that is like that draws you in. Like if you go through like Google Images for references, find a pose that really like that you like. For example, sorry, got a drink. For example, I did this Tifa sketch. I think that's on my Patreon, but I'm gonna post it on my Twitter probably by the time this video goes up. But there was this workout pose that I saw this person do, and I was like, you know what? I want to draw that as Tifa because Tifa's, obviously she works out. She's a not gymnastic, but she works out. Okay, so I drew her in doing this like stretch, and I really liked the stretch, and it was really cool. It was really fun to draw it. So that inspired me to draw that. So that's kind of what that's getting into, is just trying to find a pose that you can really break down just by a line of action, where you see things line up, that kind of thing. Attending my first life drawing class, I thought the goal of drawing was simply accuracy. So it came as a surprise when, while I was working carefully on a portion of the face, my instructor recommended placing a few strong line directions to capture the whole pose, like a preview of a movie or a plot summary for a book. Simple lines of action reveal the essential movements of the model. They enable us to draw with freedom based on what inspires us, rather than just copying what we see. They also teach us how to avoid incidental elements that cloud our vision and result in literal but lifeless drawings. So this is just saying, like, you go into drawing and you think you're going to be going accuracy, and that's the other thing I've been saying. Like, for a point, I do like aiming for resemblances. I mean, when you're drawing a character, you're doing a fan art for a character. I always try to get to like as close to a resemblance as possible. I don't go for 100%. That to me is like, it's not impossible, but it's a level of challenge that you kind of don't really need to worry about. As long as you can see the character and say, I know who that is. Like, you look at this, it's not Cloud 100%, but you know who that is. Same with this. Same with Kamek. You know these characters, but they might not look 100% like them. But you look at them, you're like, I know who they are. I always go for like, hey, as long as you can sit there and say you know who that is, that's the amount I'm looking that anyone should be looking for, honestly. Um, but this is saying like also when you're trying to look for accuracy, you're going to be drawing very stiff models that might not be beautiful to look at. That's what I love about breaking the body in my last art cast as well. And breaking the body it's fine, but it's also something that you need to really understand anatomy to really kind of get away with without looking like an amateur almost. But it's this weird balance you're always going to have to try to find because, like, yeah, it's you might want to go for accuracy at first to understand what you're drawing, but also it's okay to improvise a little bit. I think there is a level of improvisation within making art that is accepted as long as you know what you're drawing and you know what you're trying to put into it. If you're just kind of drawing and you're just not putting enough heart into it or anything, you're not going to get anything out of it. It's like in life, whatever attitude you put into it, you get out. So if you put positive energy, you're going to get positive experiences out of it, etc. Which may not, which is rough, but that's a whole other thing. All right, so now we read this little paragraph. When starting a drawing, place on the page the fewest lines necessary to convey the pose with accuracy. We seek to account for as much of the body as possible in a single line. So a line that tracks from the head to the feet is more valuable than a short line from the head to the neck. The goal is simplicity, unity, and observed truth. Capturing a strong line of action at the start of your drawing gives it life. You are the designer, so choose the line that feels most important to you. There is no right answer. Numerous artists drawing the same model may find very different starting lines. And then we have this little quote from Henry David Thoreau. There is no such thing as pure objective observation. Your observation, to be interesting, i.e., to be significant, must be subjective. So there you go. I don't know. Let's see. Is there? No. Then we talk about diagonal lines. That'll be in the next positive content. So that was page 18. Start seeing the line of action. So I've been talking a little bit about the line of action. That's something that like they kind of introduced a little bit earlier in the book as well. But that was kind of like a more like they explained it like what the whole point of the line of action is. Now I always also say this as well. Not just because this book gives you good ideas and stuff like that doesn't mean that this is the only way you can draw. There's a lot of stuff that I've learned even in school about drawing that I kind of went away with that. So with art, it's really a lot um, of finding your own groove and kind of going with that. I think when you look at this kind of stuff, it's a good place to start and to jump off of and say like, okay, if you're really struggling, this is a good, books like this is also helpful. Watching videos, watching streams of art people as well can help. It really helps you visualize what they're drawing. And a lot of people like say to never draw from imagination, which I agree with. I agree that you don't want to you know visualize a pose and just try to draw it from memory. You can do that, but I would not recommend it because that's something that you really have to draw a lot of. You have to draw a lot of people and a lot of poses to understand what it is. I do that sometimes, and I really shouldn't be doing that. I should not be doing freeform drawings some of the time. But I think it's good to start off with that. It's good to be like, hey, I'm gonna just do some warm up sketches. I'm just gonna go from memory, and then if you're trying to draw something and you're really stuck, find something to get a reference for. That's a good way to look at it. So let's get into the positive content, as it were. The music we're gonna be listening to is something that came out recently. I've been raving about this on Twitter for days. It is the Indivisible original game soundtrack plus. It's out. It's $10. It's 31 tracks. It is such a great album. It has a lot of artwork. Whoops, has a lot of songs that were either original versions of the song before they changed it to be what's in the final game, etc. So a lot of these tracks are even longer too. Like, excuse me, they have the Ajna's theme, which I love that theme. Ajna's theme is so soothing and it's so good. They have a 6 minute version of that is amazing. They have a lot of good tracks. Friction Heat. They have two versions of Friction Heat, which is amazing. That's another good song. Oh my god, all these tracks are really good. They're all bangers. So hey, if you got $10 to throw, buy the soundtrack. It's a really good soundtrack. I'm really loving the soundtrack. So let's pop that in. This is the Angelic Celebration. So I'm gonna get some like references out. So I'm gonna open preview, but I'm gonna do some warm up sketches too. You always want to warm up to loosen up. It's like doing some real life workouts. All right. Open reset. I wish you could open like a whole group, of stuff, but I have to like either open one at a time or open a sketchbook PDF. But I think I'm gonna open. Okay, I'm looking at Tarani stuff right now. Okay, I'm gonna pick a random Tarani expression. 6. Let's see what. Oh, this is her being happy. This is her like doing the thing. Okay, so I'll just kind of try to do a rough of this. All right, guys. So I am kind of doing like a line of action, which is here. And again, I'll also mention Ethan Becker. He does good videos. He kind of opened my mind a little bit with drawing poses as well by breaking down to simple shapes like lemon slices, triangles. You're always gonna find a side that is more heavy too. And the other thing is that he says in his videos is to not draw ovals because those are not committing shapes. While with like triangles and shit like that, it's you're committing to a form, and that really does help a lot. And he also said there's multiple triangles you can find in a character if you break it down, but you can always go as far as you want. You know what I mean? So this is Walk a Labyrinth, and I know the original song, and this is such a soothing version of it because the original like oh god, it's so good. I think this is in like Mount Sumeru or like the area right before that, I think. The other thing I will say is it's okay to overshoot your lines. You know, everyone tries to do these like very clean lines. I remember in high school, I used to draw a lot like this. Not exactly like this. I mean, my drawings were bad in high school, but I would do like multiple lines, and my friend would tell me, "Theo, you need to stop making all these lines. What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Hey, man, I was watching this behind the scenes of, I think it was behind the scenes of Batman Sub-Zero, that movie. Which is whatever, but there was a video where they were drawing Batman's head, and I really liked how they drew it. It was multiple lines and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of was doing that. Of course, I don't think I was doing it with any rhyme or reason, and I think I didn't understand it fully, but I was on like the right track of how to draw, but I never really utilized it the way it's supposed to, you know? So always draw multiple lines. Never sit there and say, "Oh my god, there's too many lines." Never think that. And I remember my art teacher would always say, don't get married to what you draw. Because you're always going to be changing it. You're always going to be going back, revising it, looking at what you're drawing, and all that. So, you know, there is truth to that, because if you get married to what you're drawing and you really get into it, you're not going to be you're not going to be willing to change it or fix it if it needs to, you know? That's not to say that you shouldn't love what you draw. You know, I'm not saying that, but you always want to be open to the idea that, hey, this might look like shit. I'll go back and fix it. And I think that's fine. Now, I've kind of noticed that her cleavage, Tarani's cleavage, lined up so well with the line of action. Pretty cool, huh? Now, I don't know why it surprised me so much that Tarani has such big breasts in Indivisible. I was like, oh man, they're just gonna, you know, whatever. But yeah, they gave her some stuff, man. The other thing I've been pushing myself to do when I pick characters to draw, I kind of want to find these intricate designs sometimes, and that's what I mean. Like when I do the viewers canvas, and I always say about it that I love to see what people request when they do it, because I don't know what it's gonna be. It could be anything. You know, as long as it's a character, obviously it could be animal, whatever. But you know, when I draw that kind of stuff, it's like, man, I don't know what I'm getting into, and it kind of puts me in a challenge, and I like that. I really get excited about that, because it's like, man, I get to really expand. You know, I keep saying I used to suck at drawing animals, but when I drew Cleo and Oliver the cat, I got better at it. It's like, the cat is a little bit troubling, and it's like, okay, whatever, but it's probably better than what it would be if I didn't try. And I always try with my viewers canvas. I never give half-assed drawings. Uh, and sometimes they do touch upon those drawings after I stream as well. So there's always chances that I get to touch it up. I'm gonna move this a little bit closer. I like this tripod I have. It's better than the first one I used. Not a tripod, canvas. It's like easel. I don't know why I'm like spacing on words today. And always have landmarks when you draw. Like, that's what I'm kind of doing. I've been streaming the New Game Plus run of Indivisible, and I gotta say, like, I liked the story when I played it the first time. I mean, the beginning is very traditional, like, it's kind of like what you expect from a lot of games and anime and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, you're training with your dad, and then oh man, your dad dies. Like, it's like, yeah, it's very basic, but I think it's when a game like focuses on a basic story, I think it allows them to kind of expand a little bit from that. And it's safe, sure, but I think it's better to have like a safe story that you can build up from. And I think Indivisible does a great job kind of building up from that and changing your experience with it. Because at first you think it's a very like typical story, and then less than not even halfway, uh, the game just changes, and it's like, oh yeah, that story is whatever. Here's the real story, and it's much more interesting. And I like the characters too. I think the characters make it more endearing. They're all very unique, and they all have their own motivations, and you feel for it. Like I've been complaining in the last stream, maybe not complaining, but mentioning how Zebe is such a negative Nancy. I don't know if the audio is good. I just realized I probably should be testing my audio. Fuck it, my volume is beating the music, whatever. But uh, I like the dynamic between Zebe and Naja at the beginning as well. Like, Zebe starts getting distrustful, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if he can trust you. We don't know." And it's like, okay, fuck you, Zebe, but like it's a good journey for them to have. They get closer through that, and I like it. I like that a lot with the story, and it is like the characters too. Like Tarani is like I didn't really care about Tarani when they announced her. I was like, oh, whatever. I don't really like water things that much. Every time that there's like, oh, this is water based, it's like I don't care. I really don't care about water. But when I saw her in the game and she starts talking and her personality is just so good, it's like, man, she is like the most positive person in your party. It is just so crazy, so crazy. She's like the only one that's happy, and she's like, oh yeah, and it's like, oh man. let's see. The palm doesn't show up until like some of the V of this, so right here. So let's see. That's pretty close. This is the Cyclic Soul. This is a good song too. I'm gonna shrink that, make a new layer, and draw over. Oh, that's, oops, made a little boo boo. Oh, this is wrong too. Okay. We're gonna fix this. As I said, you make mistakes. You try to refine it. Let's see. You know, I kind of like that. I kind of like how that looks. Could be better, but it's pretty good. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It's the seltzer water, guys. Now, with fingers, sometimes, like, I try to break it down, same thing as everything else with lemon slices, that kind of shit. Um, my professor made it a point to say, hey guys, your fingers are not squares. I see a lot of people draw them like this. And that's incorrect. Whatever. And I I think you draw fingers however you want, but you can always imply a curve. You can always imply a curve. I'll show you with these fingers. After I draw this thumb. I mean, I'll be honest. Oh my god, that voice crack. I'll be honest. I'll be honest, guys. It's hard. It's rough drawing hands. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not a liar. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you the false things like, oh, drawing hands is easy. It's easy work. It's not. It's rough, and it'll make you just mad. See, I'm implying with that curve, and the other fingers will follow suit. Okay, that's rough. That's rough, guys. But let's keep drawing the rest. There's a slight diagonal with her little sash. I like the sash that she has on around her waist. Now, unfortunately, I don't see the rest of her legs. You only get like the upper thigh area. That's fine. You don't have to see the rest. You know what I mean? This can be looked in so many ways. So this is Friction Heat Baby, one of the variations. So good. Yeah, the Plus soundtrack comes with multiple versions of songs that were either uh, roughed out. Like this might have been like, hey, this is one version of it we could use, and then they go from there, you know? So there's a lot of unused tracks, all that kind of stuff. And I love that shit. I love that shit. And the thing is that like everyone's like, oh, they use this that oh man. But even the original soundtrack is good too. I mean the music is really good in the game. So you know. Oh, I fucked up this little collar thing. Let's fix that. I think I drew it wrong. It goes like this, then it goes in. Okay. That looks pretty good so far, but we have to draw the rest of her hair. She has like gumdrop hair, but it's because it carries water. So there's Tirani. This is a quick little sketch of her. Uh, her arms are bothering me, to be honest. I think I made them too flat. I think they're a little bit angular down. Like I guess we could tweak that with this. Hmm. Just like that. Hate when it does that. This goes right there. This, let's see, 2, 3. So a little bit over 3, 2, 3. So this would be longer? Let's see. Let's see if I get the head portion right. 3. So 1, 2, 3. I got the head size right. Like when I break it down, there's something just off. You know what? This is gonna bother me. Let's just get rid of this whole hand. So yeah, this is Aja's theme, baby. Good shit. That's... Let's do one head. See right there. One, two, three, four, 5. Hmm. Hmm. 2, 3. 3 is like at the sleeve for mine. 3 should be like the end of the sleeve. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay, let's just move the hand. Here. It's better. It's better, definitely better. Like, it doesn't look that out of place. So there you go, there's Tarani, baby! Well, there's something about her little shirt thing I want to fix. It kind of goes down, so it's like this. They're much better. Well, we got an earring on this ear. Tarani, baby! So, as you can see, like, the line of action really helped kind of get the angles right. There is still some, like, fixing up I have to do with this sketch if I want to go for, like, 100% accuracy. But you can look at this and say, hey, that's Tarani. There she is. And it's not super stiff. It's not like a stiff pose either, but I mean, this is also a talking head portrait, so it's not really good, example of figure drawing. So let's actually do that. Let's find something to do. Okay, this is not important. Endless unity. Okay, so let's see. What am I gonna draw? What pose should I find? I got it. This one people will love. Whoa. Oh, let's mute that. It's gonna be a surprise, guys. You know, I kind of would have drawn this, but there's like literally no pose. I just realized this is a bad. I was gonna draw DSP, the Project 7 intro, but it just didn't. It's too stiff. That it would defeat the purpose. It would defeat what the point of my drawing, of what I'm drawing. I got an idea. I'll just go to a random frame. There we go. We'll do this. We'll do this. What is that noise? Huh? Now, as I said before, always draw the skeleton if you're like not sure. I'm like trying to visualize the skull here a little bit. Yeah, like just put it on the screen, dude. Bullshit. There's nothing wrong. Now I struggle with like perspectives like this. I suck at them. So this is a challenge for me, and I don't think I've ever improved on it, which pisses me off. Like kind of low key. It's like, oh my god, come on, but whatever. Jeez, this guy has like no fucking like definition. Like he's so doughy. This guy like I don't really love. I don't fucking know. Like it's rough for me when I do like videos. I try not to like make it tight. It's so hard to DSP sometimes. But this guy is so fucking doughy. Like you look at my hands. You see my hands. You're just like, oh, okay. See, there's like a shape to them. Whatever. DSP's hands are just like blobs. It's like a fucking pillow. And it's like I've never seen anyone that is like not like obese or like huge that's that doughy. Like I don't understand it. I don't understand how DSP is so like there's no definition with anything. Like my head, it's like okay, bam. I at least I have like somewhat of a jawline, somewhat. I mean, I'm not Mr. Whatever, but DSP is like his head is so doughy that like this is like a harder pose for Phil because he has like a tiny ass chin. Like his chin is like tiny, and it's like, ugh, this is a bad. I'm aborting this. This is impossible. I'll try one more time to find a Okay, this one might work. But I know what I need to. Hold on, I'm just gonna do. Hmm. Let's see what this will get me. I don't want to know where this location is. I just wanted to see reference for this. Hmm. What is this one? That's not a. Okay, that's a perfect reference. Okay. So you know we're gonna do this. I'm not gonna do the DSP shit as I thought I was gonna do. So let's do this. So I'm gonna draw just a hypothetical line. So let's refine this a little bit. Where's this killing me, guys? It's all the drawing. It's all the drawing. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, sounds about right. So as you can see, I am definitely drawing a pole dancer. It's a pole dancer, guys. Don't worry, there she is wearing clothes. This is a good one. Okay, you know what I mean? But always, I like I got the line, the action line, like the line of action that's just like going through here, and there's also a line of dominance, which is like the right, her right thigh. This thigh is like the dominant line you're gonna be following in this pose, because the one that's left that's behind, it's like that's not dominant. It's in the back. Well, this is like more in front, and I'm like basing everything based on where this leg is and where this thigh is, and just kind of going from there. And looking at the lines of action, the diagonal lines, like I'm seeing a line going this way, then I'm seeing a line going this way, pretty much like where her chest is. Um, so that's what I'm looking at. It's not easy. Like this is like this. I thought it was gonna be a little bit easier to draw, a little bit, but it's actually pretty challenging. But it's a fun little pose. I do recommend like pole dancing is a good sort. Oh my god, pole dancing images. As suggested as that may sound, it's actually really good. Tool to find all these cool poses because they're in poses that is not possible because of gravity, obviously. And it's kind of nice seeing the sides, and you can actually see a lot of shapes. Like there is a triangular shape, like where her arm is to her waist and to the pole. So doing this, I'm seeing all kinds of references. Honestly, working out, find out someone that does workouts. That's a great source of reference for posing. Um, Fight scenes, uh, you know, pole dancing here. All these are really good places to look at to see if hey, I want to see if I can really do figure drawing pretty well, and these are really good places to look at. I think pole dancing is a little bit better because you get the 3D kind of thing a little bit easier. I mean, of course, it's in a 2D plane because it's an image, and that kind of takes away from observations, but it kind of tells you the form you're drawing. The best thing you can draw, honestly, is real people. Always try, find someone that you feel comfortable with and have them pose for you. You can always do clothes. I mean, you don't have to be nude. Don't worry, you can do clothes. Unless it's someone that you really trust, if your significant other, they might be up for it. Who knows? There's an artist I follow, Rob. I think his Twitter handle is Roboto. Let me go to his Twitter, so you guys know the Rob I'm talking about. Yeah, Rob. His handle is at Roboto _art. It's 2 A's in Roboto, like Rob AATO _art. He has an Instagram I follow as well, and one of the things he was saying was the poses he gets to draw are just from his girlfriends, pretty much. Girlfriends, I guess he has multiple, but from his girlfriend he has at the time, etc. He gets them to pose for him, and and that's how he gets these figures. Of course, he's not drawing his girlfriend in the figure. He's drawing like Tifa and Morgan, all these other people, all these other characters that are obviously not real people. But he's using the girlfriend as a form to get that form down. So I do like his art. good stuff. He gives good tips as well. Um, but yeah, I would say like honestly, pole dancing is a really good image to look on Google because you get a lot of cool little poses that they do on the pole. I was about to say pool on the pole. Like this one I'm drawing. Like this one's really cool. Like she's this kind of looks like she's flying and it's like look at that. There's some that are like not as cool, but they're interesting. Like there's the one that's very like suggestive than the one I'm looking at right now, and it's like that's kind of cool, but man, you know. Oh my god, the side of my head is killing me. So let's go over this. Let's lower the opacity a little bit so I can see what I'm drawing here. And then go back in. This might be the thumbnail for this video. Honestly, I'm like kind of proud of I'm drawing this because I just like the angle so much. I love the pose that she's doing. And when you get a good pose, you know you're doing good. And it's always important when you're doing drawing. If you've done a lot or a few drawings, always challenge yourself. Always find ways to push yourself. You know, that was the one thing I think I regret the most when I was in school. When I was taking all these art classes, I never really pushed myself in some of the drawings I was doing. A lot of them was just like, oh, I just want to draw a snake. I just want to do this, and I never really took the time to say, hey, you know what? I really want to just draw something that's just going to be hard or challenging. So I always try to find ways to push myself now when I do this stuff. So I do recommend, like, hey, find something challenging, find something hard to do, push, push, push. Don't just take something because, oh, this is easy. You know, never do that. Um, you know, find stuff that helps you push because it's gonna help you understand what you're drawing. You know that, you know, it's really like helpful a lot when you're drawing stuff that's hard because you learn so much. You know, I'm drawing this, I'm like drawing, and I'm kind of writing about other stuff as I'm doing this, and it really helps you understand what you're doing. Like I'm drawing like this bathing suit she's in, and I'm like learning that. Like in form of the body, I should say. Like because sometimes when you draw clothes, it's like really hard to visualize them on someone's body. You know what I mean? It sounding kind of weird now. Yeah, this is like a Devil May Cry song. It sounds like this was in Devil May Cry 5, but it's not. It's the meta from Indivisible, dude. Let's see. Let's compare this to Without the Lines. Oh, look at that! Oh man, that's so good. Oh my god, I'm so happy with this. Oh my god, I am so happy with this drawing. Like the legs need to be worked on. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, the legs are great. Let's let's work on that on those. Oh my god, I'm just gonna erase the lower because I think that I just made them like way too elongated. So let's see, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Feet are hard though, so I'm not gonna like beat myself up over the feet. Feet are just a pain in the ass. I hate feet more than hands. I hate them. I'm not like Tarantino, who's like, oh my god, feet. Fuck feet. I hate them. Get rid of feet. I say we should evolve past them. We should just have uh, mechanized that doesn't need oil or gas. It's powered by just thought. Feet or just something else. Fuck feet. They're such a pain in the ass to draw. Get rid of them. Well, the legs are better. Like, that part of it's better. Because, I'm looking at this drawing, and it does, like, it does kind of look like her legs are longer than her body. It looks kind of like it. I like it all the same. I think this is a really good drawing. Uh, you know, I, man, I don't know if I would say this is my best, but it's definitely one I'm proud of drawing. Because I do ultimately like everything else. So, that's cool. So, that's that. I think I'm gonna call it, but, I'm also gonna end on reading another portion of this book. So let's do that. I'm gonna turn off the music so we can, uh-oh. Oh, I was playing that. Okay. Again, great soundtrack. It's Lab Zero, not Lab Zero, whoops. Indivisible Original Game Soundtrack Plus. Check it out. It's $10. I really love the soundtrack. It's really good. It has 31 tracks of great tunes. Love it. I love it, man. Okay, so let's see. You read page 18, right? Yeah, so let's read the next page. Okay, class, turn to page 20 to the diagonal, and we're going to read about the diagonal line, okay? So this is page 20 of this book. This little cool atelier. The diagonal. Diagonals show movement and direction, taking the eye from one area of the picture to another. In the space below, practice drawing strong diagonals. Then follow my example to find diagonal action lines in the drawing by Raphael. Below, drawing them on the image. Finally, find the lines of movement in Rubens' Anatomical Studies opposite, which is on the opposite page. I'm talking about this. Try to keep your lines parallel, choosing only one or two line directions to study in each drawing. I'm not gonna draw in this fucking book. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Juliet. I'm not drawing in the book. Okay, I'll photocopy it maybe. Probably not though. Probably not gonna do any of that. But this is talking about like looking at trying to find diagonal lines that help you like read the drawing. It's kind of whatever. Because like they want you to okay, that's not a good thing to end on. I mean it's okay, but let's read about the arc on page 22. Okay, guys? I hope you have your books opened. The arc. Curves are organic fluid arcs that convey life and emotion. In Annibale Garachi's drawing below, notice how the C curve of the body is echoed through the picture to emphasize the pose. It is a simple and powerful way to connect diverse parts of the picture: the head to the back, the arm to the waist. In the space below, practice drawing curved lines. Lightly trace the curved lines of action in the Karachi piece. Finally, find the curves in the picture on the opposite page. See how many times you can find the curve repeated. So this time like curves. So like you might some movies do this as well. Like if they might like pan through the back of a character and they might be slouched, and that gives you the emotion of the character. It's very straightforward. It's a very simple thing. Like look at this piece. Look at this drawing right here. Look at all these curves. It's going like this. So like you could just kind of do the opposite lemon slice here. Straight, and then just curved on the back. So you could always do that as well. I mean, the arc is kind of like the lemon slice technique that Ethan Becker teaches, but this is more talking about like the pose that is the curve itself, and that you can get a lot of emotion out of it. So that is really handy. I do like that. Is really good. That is something when I used to draw, when I was younger. However, and every time I would be trying to draw a guy hunched over, I always always struggled with it. It was always something that was challenging, and it was just like, how am I going to draw this slouch? It always looked like that they either was missing their stomach, like it was just kind of like they were just cut cut down, or it would just be kind of like they were like this. So it was something really weird, and that does help put that into perspective. That once you curve, everything kind of curves to that form. There's always going to be a dominant side to that curve. Obviously the legs is not going to be in the same curve, but when you're focusing on the waist up, it's always going to be parallel to what the direction you're going to be in most cases. So that is a really good tip to look at the arc and see how many curves you can find in a portion. So, maybe find some images. Like we could even go to the pole dancer, uh, and we can see like there is a curve. Like actually, I could just show you here. So see, there is a curve in this, guys. There is a curve here. Okay, I'm gonna make another frame so I don't like fuck up, And we're gonna make this red, and we're gonna make this thick. So we have like this curve, this curve, this curve, this curve. Here we have that curve. We're gonna get this area not so much because it's just a hand going this way. Like even like here, there's a curve here, but there's kind of a curve over here too with the fingers, whatever. But it's mostly conforming to this curve that's going in this angle. If you look at the image I'm looking at, maybe I'll put that in the description, but you can literally see that the curve conforms in the same pattern. You know, not so much with the legs. I mean, you can kind of make the case like with this and that, but mostly it's going to be like kind of with the groin up. It's going to have this curve that is going in a unified direction, which is obvious because it's a pole dancer. She's propping herself up, but you could just break it down with these curves and these angles that she's displaying. So this is, again, as I said before, pole dancing images are really good references for drawing. You really get like a good form of the body, and you get all these crazy positions and poses that you can kind of pull from. So I really recommend looking for that stuff as well if you're looking for a good reference for crazy poses that can put you to the test. So I do recommend that. There's a lot of crazy poses you can just find with pole dancing. So I do recommend going through that, looking at that, because this is a really good source of reference if you're just trying to find something that's going to be very straightforward. So I do recommend that. This was a lot of fun to draw, to be honest. I like this one the most. The Tarani sketch is good too. The Haruka from Fooly Cooly was a good sketch. I have all these cool sketches. I really loved drawing all of them. But I think this one is the best one of this video. I'm really happy with this one a lot. Just how it came out is really cool. So I'm gonna just get rid of this layer. But thank you guys for watching this episode of Positive Content. Again, as always, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this. What are your thoughts? Do you have any pointers or stuff you want to share? Let me know. Again, thank you guys for supporting these videos and these streams. However you do it, just by watching is really cool. But thank you for watching these positive content videos. I really love putting them out. I really love making them, and it really gets me to do more art, which is always a good thing. But thank you for watching, and as always, I will say, stay safe, do what you have to, don't do anything crazy, be healthy, and hopefully we can get through this shitty year. But thank you for watching the positive content video. I'll have more to upload. As always, I will be streaming Thursday, so get hyped for that. It'll be just random stuff, so that'd be cool. But thank you for watching this positive content video. I love doing these little videos. Next positive content, I will read another passage from this book. Again, buy this book. It's really good. I actually am liking this book the more I read into it. It's Figure Drawing Atelier by Juliet Aristides Tides. It's a good book. It's like $30, $20, $30, in that range. It's really solid. It's a good book, good source of information. You get a lot of help from it. It's really beneficial if you're trying to aspire to be an artist or just trying to learn casually. But it's a good book. I recommend that. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good day, good weekend, good week, good night, good morning, whatever. Fuck it. See you guys when I see ya, and thanks for watching. See ya.